I'm host Eric. Questo de Taquiendo de Famiglia de People Plays. Today I'd like to introduce a brief history of mime. It all started back in 1704 when famous mime Pierre Mimereux first began miming. The rest is history. Humanity has been fascinated by miming ever since. And who can blame them? What, if anything, could possibly be more interesting than miming? I can't think of anything. Well, needless to say, I'm up too early. A little before 4 in the morning. Kylito Gold, hello. I see you're up early as well. There's not a good explanation for why I get up so early. I guess the best explanation is I got enough sleep. Last night I went to bed about 10, so it's, we're looking at 6 hours of sleep, which is not a lot of sleep, really. But I don't know. I'm a little overslept. I've been sleeping a lot lately. The good news is there is a possibility. I'd put it at probably about 50-50 that I get my Adderall today. I believe the pharmacy at the supermarket is open on Saturday, at least limited hours. I emailed my doctor yesterday, and I believe that it's ready to be picked up today, like I'm within 48 hours. So it's certainly possible. Now, it is true. I did not call in my prescription until like 3 p.m. on a Friday, or email my doctor until like 3 p.m. on a Friday. So it's possible he won't get to it till Monday. But I have my fingers a lot like my legs crossed. Okay, you're right. My legs are not actually crossed. As you can see, I'm still full of yawns. Which means, I suppose, in some sense, that I'm waking up. Could be going back to sleep in theory, but more likely means I'm waking up a bit. And I'm feeling a little drug starved. Like, I'm ready for amphetamines. This is the first bong rip of the morning. Let's pull it together. Let's pull it together in solidarity. You, Kylita Gold, and me. Only two people here. solidarity? That feeling, like crinkly feeling inside your groin, that's solidarity. Time to get a new stick. Eric, what's your opinion on black people? Well, I am one frequently enough. As someone who's fluidly transracial, my race changes a lot. Sometimes I'm black, sometimes I'm Mexican. You know, sometimes I'm Chinese or whatever. My opinion about it is no matter what race I am, I'm exactly the same person. So, you know, that's my opinion about it. Race is made up nonsense. Well, it's because you're a racist. I mean, listen, you being a racist doesn't make you a terrible person. People are stupid in all kinds of ways. The fact that you're stupid in that way isn't any particularly worse than being stupid in other ways, you know. But it's incredibly stupid. Let's just put it that way. You have to be incredibly stupid to be a groupist. Whatever group it is you hate. I mean, did you suffer a traumatic brain injury? Or were you born this way? Oh, okay. Well, they did? All the black people in the world came to your house and stole a chicken from you? That seems unlikely. Okay, well, you're clearly a pointless troll, but you know, you're here chatting with me, so I guess I won't ban you at the moment. So, yes on the traumatic brain injury? Well, that explains it. That excuses it as well. You can't expect yourself to be intellectually robust after suffering traumatic brain injury. You're still my wife? No. You never were my wife, and you continue to not be my wife. So, you've got a few facts wrong, I'm afraid, Kalita Gold. Not only are you not still my wife, you also won't steal my wife. After all, she's not an object I possess. And, you know, you're not clever enough for that. What's up? Why is it that I dated an ISFP and was great in the beginning, but then the FI was very independent and they would not think about me as much as I did with them? Well, because you're the heartbreak kid. No, attachment theory is nothing to do with MBTI type, except in the sense that if I have an unhealthy attachment style, it might express like this or like that because I'm this type or that type. But in every sense, it's the consequence of a childhood abuse. And and so the person's going to be not a healthy relationship partner if they don't have a healthy attachment style, no matter what type they are. You're an ESFJ. Well, I don't think ISFP is a very good match for ESFJ, frankly. I think you'd be better off with an INTP, probably. Or even an ISTP. Well, I think your goals, again, you won't steal my wife no matter what because you're an idiot. Among myriad other reasons. I am not remotely worried about some random tard stealing my wife. After all, Rachel picked me. She has excellent taste in men. Okay, the goal is it your mom? I'm pretty sure that's the answer to the riddle. It's funny how it's like the spite monkeys. I'm not sure exactly how many of them there are, but they all want to, for some reason, invest time pretending to be a regular person for a while first. And it's not like they ever fool me. But even if they were to fool me, so what? Once they reveal they're a spite monkey, they're just gonna hide their ass anyway. Right, FI DOMs don't give you a lot of FEQing feedback. That's why I find INFPs kind of intimidating. But SI countervalued, SI tool, the way you do things is going to not be appreciated by the other person and vice versa. Causes problems. Diamond says some sick people the in the here. What does that say? It's hidden behind the heart thing in the head. Some sick people in the head just like to get a rise out of others. Well, I can get the idea of liking to get a rise out of others, being provocative or whatever. That's not like too far beyond my own experience to get it. It's just I guess what I don't get is like the lack of creativity, the lack of interestingness. Well, NI is an absolute value for both ESFJ and ISFP. It's 3-7 though, so it's kind of a tricky relationship. Both of you want to be super childish about it. And, two children who both want to be childish don't share very well. The thing is, Diamond, I am relatively convinced that the person or persons who come around here, specifically the ones who make a lot of attacks in the following way: sexualizing Rachel, body shaming Rachel, shaming me for my old age or something. It's like they only have a very few little tricks. They just keep repeating them over and over again, right? Like, that's the kind of person I don't really get. They clearly hate me for reasons, you know, that they don't ever articulate, obviously. And, that's a part that I continue to try to find some kind of good explanation for. Like, I would typically expect, I must have, like, hurt their feelings or something. Yeah, she and I are great together. We really love each other and are very devoted to each other. We spend all of our time together. They're sick. Well, I mean, with what illness? Being a shitty person? Is that an illness? Because I'm trying to figure out a sort of a larger question, which is probably typological. For as long as I can remember, there have been a certain segment of people who have just absolutely hated me immediately, right off the bat, and continue to hate me forever. I've encountered them periodically. It's like I don't think I'm doing anything to make them hate me, but I want TI explanations. I like Deion Sanders' NI explanation. My confidence offends their insecurity. I mean, I can understand a certain amount of jealousy because I'm successfully being correct about everything, and nobody else really is. But it's a phenomenon of being a philosopher first for many years, and a debate coach for many years, and then finally putting cognitive functions together right, and then everything becomes clear. It really is the Rosetta Stone for all of humanity's great questions. Good morning, Misty Joy. Why am I awake? Well, because my sleeping times ended. I was sleeping, and I was restless, then I got up to pee, and I realized, I guess I'm up. And I was like, well, what are you going to do now, Eric? It's 4 in the morning. I looked at Crunchyroll. Yes, sure. Sure, you're right. I'm not going to dispute it. Firefighter Daigo, Rescuer in Orange, came out at 2 a.m. I could have watched that. Log on. What is going on? I'm discussing miming today. Today's topic is miming. Like, look, I'm stuck in a box. You feel like I'm thinking a lot? Oh, I mean, that's not why I got up early. I've been sleeping a lot. I'm just I'm overslept, basically. I mean, I've gotten a ton of hours of sleep last night, like 6 or 7 maybe, but it's nevertheless the case that the reason I'm up is because I've been oversleeping, like getting like 12 hours of sleep a day or something. So I'm just all slept out like a mofo. And that's why I'm up. Am I thinking a lot? I'm always thinking a lot. There's never a time when I'm not thinking a lot. It's just what I'm thinking of changes around. You know, well, I guess I'm referring to when I was younger. Yes, I'd encounter these people in real life. Like when I used to play pickup basketball, I periodically encountered somebody who just I step on the court and they just immediately hated me and made it clear to me, Nowadays, no, I don't encounter people hating me in real life for no reason. Well, actually, that's not true. Like the other day, Rachel and I we're walking away from the pizza place back to our car, and some 23-year-old douchebag drove up and yelled at the window at me. Why don't you stop smoking that shit? Or whatever, something like that. I was smoking a cigarette. It wasn't even lit. It was just in my mouth. So there's another example of it, Why did this guy just decide to vent his hate for me at that moment? I don't know. It couldn't have been because I was polluting the air with smoke because it wasn't even lit. So something about me triggered that guy. To some extent, the basketball thing made me realize maybe it has something to do with my height. I am pretty tall. I was watching this Love Island, Love Island Australia. We watched an episode of that, Rachel and I, yesterday. And it was so horrible. Like, they interviewed every one of the women beforehand, and every single one of them, I said what they wanted in a guy. They all said, well, he has to be taller than me. I like tall. It's like, what horrible oppression to shorter guys, you know? That's so unfair. So I could see potentially maybe a combination of seeing that thing, which made me mad, obviously, to hear them say that. And thinking about basketball, I guess those things combine and you think maybe that's something to do with it. Well, why is tall better than short? There's no inherent superiority to tallness. Okay, well, it does have some advantage. You can see over people. I like that. If I'm in a crowd, I can always see over everybody. But I'm sure shortness has advantages too. You can you can go into small places and uh, and not bend over as much. On a positive note, you may want to invest in companies that provide leg lengthening surgeries. My father always told me, be careful of shorties. Did he? I don't remember ever saying any such thing to my daughter. Yeah, well, so maybe that's it. I don't know. Short girls are mean, are they? Rachel's 5'2". She's not mean. She's a sweetheart. Sign of good health, huh? I mean, I'm not really sure it has anything to do with health because when I was born, the doctors told my parents I was the longest baby they had had in 2 weeks or a month or something like that. I used to be married to a short Hispanic woman. She wasn't mean. She and I didn't work out. I couldn't be married to her because she was a little bit controlling and the anti-polar just I just couldn't take it any longer. Like, will you quit shifting ground when I'm trying to argue with you? You weighed 14 pounds? That's at birth, Carlos Paeva. Not now. He doesn't currently weigh 14 pounds. It's better for fights. I don't get into any fights. And the one fight I remember getting into, which was not at not at my initiation, I got knocked out. Woke up in the street looking at the stars. So that was kind of like not so great. But I'm kind of glad it happened, I guess. A fight as an adult, you know. I've got to pay more attention to SE next time. I am very hopeful there will not be a next time. I don't want to get into any fights. If I'm using my fists, something has gone terribly wrong. I'm the sort of fellow who likes to use his words to say things. It may not be the most exciting form of action, but it's my form of action. Yeah, word fights are a lot safer. Well, at least in terms of bodily harm. Okay, well, I never try to physically impose myself. I'm not very much inclined towards physical conflicts. I expect people to be impacted by my indignation and my cutting words. I am not pleased with the service here, sir. Like that, you know. If my indignation, cutting words, and severe tone are insufficient to solve the problem, well, then I'm just going to have to put an end to this conversation right now and go home. Yeah, it's not just that I live in a nice neighborhood here, Lamb. It's also that I'm old, you know? Old people, by and large, they might be like the victim of a mugging or something, but they're not likely to uh, engage in fisticuffs with people, you know? Some are not rational or on drugs like meth or mentally ill. Well, by and large, mentally ill people are not dangerous. They're just crazy. But occasionally, their craziness takes dangerous turns. Meth people are maybe more likely to steal stuff, but I don't think are inherently any more violent than other people. I neither stole stuff nor was violent when I was on meth. I did tweak out on a bunch of weird shit. But you know, that's just part of the fun of being Eric. Being Eric. That's really what I should have called this channel. The horrible ways of being Eric. So Matthew Perry, from what I read, was clearly not sober, And while no illegal drugs were found at the home, he did have plenty of prescription pills. What does being Eric mean to me? It means suffering from chronic Ericiness, for one thing. What is chronic Ericiness? Well, it's like, how much longer will I put off these chores that I need to do? I desperately need to vacuum. I need to finish cleaning the carpets in the living room. I need to do a little bit of painting. I need to chip off this shit off the wall. But what do I do instead? I just live stream away. What do I live stream about? How I'm not doing the things I should be doing. One of my favorite live stream topics. Other things indicative of schmericiness. Perry said a lot of intuitive stuff in an interview. Who's Perry? I don't know who Perry is, but I do know this. That schmericiness is just like being an intuitard all the time. And also, like, not having the right emotion. Like, I want to feel giddy and enthusiastic about things. But we were just talking about Perry. Oh, you're talking about Matthew Perry. I was thinking about Tyler Perry when you said that. I don't like Tyler Perry. And it's almost exclusively because he puts his name on everything. Will you stop saying Tyler Perry? I mean, it worked. Here I am talking about Tyler Perry. But it worked like purposely infecting someone with chickenpox works. No, I'm not hiring a maid. Depending on how the next week goes or so, I may end up calling this handyman. He sent us a mailer saying, he works in Mariposa County only, and he works for $30 an hour doing general handyman labor stuff. So I was thinking of maybe calling him. I've got a few things that I really need to fix. People don't like me because they suck and I am awesome. Here I am heard an ESTP say this. That's the STP version of ENFJ Deion Sanders' our confidence offends their insecurity. Meanwhile, I have a lot more trouble NIing it, right? I'm NI ignoring. I don't like those simple NI explanations. I want something more, I don't know, reducible. I have a lot more trouble than all of us. You don't even have one trouble. Well, I don't exactly have problems that are not of my own making. In other words, or my own failure to make. I have problems associated with my own failure to make. I do have a trouble, and he is trouble. Like after making me watch him eat this morning, then he puked up his breakfast right in front of my feet, which was at least conveniently located. There's no way to avoid cleaning that up. That's fine. Show media. You are excused. You are forgiven. By both me and Jesus. I'm assuming. I don't want to speak for Jesus, but he's kind of in the forgiveness game, so I think it's probably pretty safe. Jesus, you sure are a very forgiving guy. Even though you're stuck up there living in the sky. Even though we nailed you up to a cross. And anybody else would be super cross. You can't rhyme cross and cross. Jesus didn't believe women should shave their armpits. Okay, well, that may be the case. But did he believe they should not shave their armpits? That's a different question and a more important one. I don't believe women should say waka panaka chew, but I also don't believe they shouldn't say it. I think if women want to say waka panaka chew, they should. And if they don't want to say waka panaka chew, they shouldn't. That's my position on the important question of saying the word waka panaka chew. What do you think of Christians who tell people God, Jesus loves you? Well, I think, unfortunately, faith has become so politicized and so part of a fairly naturally occurring group, which is to say, rationalists versus magical thinkers. But I think probably what would be a better thing for people to say if they wanted to say something. I get why it's not a bad thing to say in the sense that there are plenty of people out there who need to feel loved more. And maybe faith is a way to attain that. But I think what people really need to hear is there's nothing wrong with you. Unfortunately, it's not universally true. There is something wrong with some people. It's called toxic umbrella toxic syndrome. You know, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. Those things, well, then there is something wrong with you. But barring those things, there's not. Now, you could also have something wrong with you that's more like a medical problem, like my leg is broken. Well, then, yeah, there's something wrong with me. Well, I didn't say that they were wrong people. I said there was something wrong with them. So it's pretty obvious if I've got a broken leg that there's something wrong with me, right? That can be it can be repaired and I can be restored to normal functionality. Same thing with a mental illness like bipolar mania. Not the same thing with BPD, narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and all of those things correlate very strongly with unhealthy attachment styles. So, those people, is my opinion, there's something wrong with them and they can't be fixed because they were raised into a twisted, broken version of a human being by abuse. It's sad, but childhood abuse causes people to be broken as adults, and then hurt people. Diamond, I think it's a little reductive. I think the people who do that, it's their way of expressing their faith in the most positive way they can. I think my explanation is a more fair explanation that they have some awareness, maybe because of their own experience with becoming a Christian or whatever, that people need to feel more loved in the world. You know, it's something my ESFJ ex-wife used to say all the time. You are loved. You meant the Israel talk? Oh. Well, a personality type is a configuration. It's a configural strategy to adapt to the varying realities of a changing life. That's what it means to have a personality type. But the things I'm talking about have nothing to do with personality type. They have to do with childhood abuse creating toxic adults. And the toxicity of those adults, because it's imprinted into who they are because of their foundational experiences, seems to me, cannot be fixed. So, a personality disorder is in some way, shape, or form an expression of an inability to trust other human beings, which manifests as an inability to be held accountable in meaningful ways by other human beings. And then the more overtly toxic expressions vary depending on what disorder label you have, you know? Well, no, because plenty of toxic people successfully attain and maintain interpersonal relations. Um, I don't know if we can define toxicity towards others except by articulating specific behaviors that are always toxic. We're better off if we want to try to define it as an umbrella term. We'd say it's a chronic inability to be held accountable by others. That's the most that's the most operationalized definition of it. Like all forms of toxicity are in some way ontologically assaultive, but that doesn't get us anywhere, you know, definitionally. Then we just have to define what that is. And you basically say it's behavior by another person intended to delegitimize your humanity. Why accountability avoidance disorder is bad? That's not inherently bad, right? It's like you're not necessarily doing harm to others, although it does inherently deny others justice or any kind of fair or equitable relation with you. It's a lack of reciprocity, right? So in that regard, you're you're denying you're denying the other person inherently the fairness of the truth, right? That's why they engage in gaslighting and stuff. It's because it's an accountability avoidance strategy. Well, but what makes it bad is the question. If we're going to call it that, then we're just pushing back our definitional requirement to defining what bad is, right? The point is, toxic people are toxic people because they behave toxically to others consistently. The reason they behave toxically to others consistently is because they cannot trust other people because of childhood abuse. This leads to an unhealthy attachment style and behavior that varyingly gets called BPD, narcissistic, antisocial, histrionic, or whatever you want to call it. Most people have that going on. Or are you talking about show media? I suffered from an empty depression and mental anguish from 18 to early 20s. I also had that experience, show media. But the thing is, those people can secure long term relationships. Look at my poor friend Corey, who's been in a marriage with this BPD nightmare for decades. She secured a long term relationship. She attained and did it. So it's not a it's not a strategically bad idea for the person who's toxic, right? It's just always bad for the person they're being toxic to. I mean, the thing is, if their toxicity was not an effective strategy to do something, it would change. They'd find another way to be toxic to accomplish whatever it is they're trying to accomplish, which is of course attaining the prime directive, because they've had deeply imprinted into them foundationally this map that people can't be trusted, they have varying toxic behaviors that force other people to not be trustworthy from their perspective. You know, if I'm determined that you're not going to love me, then if I'm shitty to you all the time, you won't act like you love me very much. No, I mean, they would both suffer less if they were apart, for sure. I know. Well, he's got very little access to his subjective epistemologies. He's an INFJ. His SI is 8, his FI is 6, and he married this woman and had 2 kids with her. The second of whom isn't out of high school yet. He's thinking all that stuff about, well, I don't want to leave before Benji finishes school. The normal things that people do to stay in terrible relationships. Tell various stories that are irrelevant. Okay, well, generally speaking, Carlos Paiva, if you're raised by loving parents who care for you a lot, then you're surprised every time somebody can't be trusted in the world because you've experienced this fairly idyllic upbringing where adults could all be trusted, and you could always go to your parents if there was a problem and just tell them what it was, and you'd get both sympathy and solvency. And then when you go into the world and you meet these various horrible people, each of them surprises you. Like, how did you get to be so horrible? Well, obviously, they had a much different foundational mapping experience than you did, Eric. You know? It's also easy for me to trust people because I don't operate on heuristics, right? Like, I don't, regardless of how much I trust you, I still have to evaluate everything for myself, each thing. Like, I used to be, I used to be spending time with this toxic ENFJ guy named Nick, who would always want to. He'd try to do this thing where he'd get me to be in agreement about myan, 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 and then try to move me towards something that was like wicked. But of course, I'm evaluating it every step of the way. I'm not just like, okay, I'm giving you leadership now that I've agreed with you a few times, and I'll just dopely walk along behind you. It's just never going to happen in a billion years. It used to frustrate the hell out of me. He wanted to know what my secrets were, too. I really don't have any secrets, Nick. You hear about them all. But what do you really think about this, though? Exactly what I said I think about it. But really, though, what do you really think? I really think exactly what I said about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said that. Obviously. He assumed I must be like him, right? Like, all Heidi and duplicitous and stuff. I'm not like him at all. I'm very open. What secrets? What could I possibly be keeping secret given all the things I talk about on the channel? You know, I talk about my long drug history, and I don't have like sex secrets or whatever because I'm I've always been much more about drugs than about sex. I love my sex life now, a wonderful sex life with my wonderful wife. But sex is a very sensory thing. I always found it a little intimidating. I mean, not anymore, but the longer you're in a happy relationship where you're having good sex, the more comfortable you become. Mm-hmm. Well, I think Taylor put it best when he said, Eric, you're a little push shy. I am a little bit push shy. That's a nicer word. It's a less scientific-y word for it, Carlos Paiva. Yeah. A little bit push shy. You know, men may, in some sense, all be like dogs. But, not all dogs run right up to you and smell you in the crotch. Some of them are shy dogs. That doesn't mean that if you get to know them, they still won't smell your crotch. I think that's a good analogy. Puss makes me a wuss. It makes me a sleepy boy is what it makes me. After sexual intercourse, I often fall right to sleep. I usually say to Rachel, okay, I'm just going to lie down for a second now. I'm just going to rest for a second. Well, in my analogy show media, dogs are men and vaginas are crotches. Okay. Just to clarify the metaphor for you. What are you doing, Eric? What are you doing? I'm churning butter, everybody. You gotta churn your butter in the morning before you can smoke it. I think you guys are focusing too much on real dogs and too little on the metaphor here, okay? Dogs are not a perfect analog for men. That's not the point, okay? The point is, somebody like me, I was just born a beta male, destined for push shyness. A push shy man destined for friend zones. That's what I was born. Okay. I try not to hump other people's legs, but I do sometimes hump my own leg. It's not very receptive. It's like, okay, stop. Like, okay, all right, I'll stop. No, you can for a little while longer. Okay, well, are you sure? My leg and I really have a terrible relationship. Pussaholics Anonymous. Fortunately, I don't have to sign up for Pussaholics Anonymous. I am not addicted to Pussahol. I like to have sexual intercourse. But Rachel and I have it approximately every third day, I would say. Sometimes every other day. You know, it's not like it occupies a great deal of our time and attention. Well, I call that dog homophobia, show media. I call dog homophobia on you. I'm tired of you discriminating against my cat because he has AIDS. So we do have a double whammy today. And there is 50-50. I want to play a conservative 40-60 chance that it might become a triple whammy because my Adderall prescription might get filled today. So the first whammy, of course, is the Saturday slate of cartoons that I like to watch. Saturday is an excellent day for cartoons. It may, in fact, be the best day of the week for cartoons. Crunchyroll's Saturday is jam packed with action. Second, college football games start at 9 a.m. I'm obviously a big college football fan. And so I'm excited about the slate of games. But before we go over any of the football, I'm not sure we will because I think I went over it last night in the live stream. We will go over today's cartoon releases. It being a Saturday, we've got a lot of stuff in store. So the first thing that gets released on Saturday is Firefighter Daigo Rescuer in Orange. That's at 2 a.m. Episode 7 is now available. I have not watched it yet. I'm looking forward to it. At 6:30, The Faraway Paladin, The Lord of the Rust Mountains, episode 6 comes out. Also, actually, this is the last week, so it'll be episode 7. Looking forward to that. I enjoy that cartoon a great deal. 9:15, Tear Moon Empire, episode 7 comes out. Fantastic concept. It's basically Marie Antoinette gets guillotined, but then comes back to life like 2 years prior with a chance to change reality so that she doesn't get guillotined. Great concept, great cartoon, highly recommended, called Tear Moon Empire. 9:30 a.m. A Returner's Magic Should Be Special. An excellent show. I always enjoy it. It's classic, magic. It's actually the same concept as Tear Moon Empire. The guy loses a war. He and his fellow mages lose a war, but at the end of the war, he's killed and he's sent back in time, and they have a chance to fix it. Then at 10 a.m., Buta Reba, The Story of a Man Turned into a Pig, comes out. It's really quite heartwarming and good. I don't know why it's so lowly ranked. It deserves better. At 10:30, I Shall Survive Using Potions, one of my absolute favorites of the current season. Fun, classic OP isekai character with a twist, you know. She's chosen a power that lets her make potions however she wants to make them. And, you know, I love the fact that this particular cartoon, she's aware of and addresses, takes and considers the impact of her OP power on how it's going to play out. Like, she puts a time limit on her healing potions to prevent people from hoarding them. That's smart. Also to make them not very useful for armies. So I think that's smart writing, you know. At 10:45, what everybody else on Crunchyroll says is the best show of the new season because it's at 5.0 stars. Are you serious? Ooh, that's a lot of stars. You never see anything at 5. Even Attack on Titan is 4.9. It is very, very good. I don't know if it deserves to be ranked that high though. Then at 11, Protocol Rain. I still haven't finished watching the last Protocol Rain. It's kind of boring. It's kind of slow, but it's watchable. And that's it. Well, then at 5:30 p.m., Soaring Sky Pretty Cure comes out, but that's just too sparkle core for me. I tell you what I should do instead of making an OnlyFans for trouble. I should make anime reviews for every anime. 15-second long anime reviews for shorts. Tell everybody which ones are worth watching, which ones are not, which ones are overranked, which ones are underranked. I would be a service I could perform that everybody needs. Trouble OnlyFans, huh? So now what? You know, that's always the question. I could, in theory, try to. Been meaning to do this. Try to uninstall Steam, reinstall it. I think I might enjoy um, playing. What's it called? Baldur's Gate. But in order to do that, I need to uninstall Steam and reinstall it. I think I'm going to try that right now. Steam. Uninstall. Yes. Uninstall. So I'm uninstalling Steam. Maybe then I'll reinstall Steam. And see if I can get past the CAPTCHA. You know? My daughter says that she spends a lot of time complaining about Steam. So I'm obviously not the only person who has problems with it. I don't really think I can at the moment with the internet I have. To stream with OBS like that requires me to do WhatsApp. Why do I have WhatsApp on the computer? Everything else looks fine. I don't feel as though I need to. What is that? I don't know what that is. I'm going to uninstall it. Okay, good. Now that I've done that, well, these are my reading glasses for up close. And these are my reading glasses for far away. Because now it's like I can't even read small text on the TV. Alright, let me try re-downloading Steam. Download Steam. Steam, the ultimate game platform. The ultimate online game platform. Updating Steam. We will see if I can get past the captcha. I tell you what we will do is once it gets to the captcha part, I'm going to have you guys look at it and see if I'm doing something wrong or if it's just broken or what. But first, let's get smoke a cigarette while this thing finishes installing. Double the glasses, double the fun. Everything's great when you're one-on-one. Let's go to the actual outside instead of the dumb old garage. The actual outside, at least last time I went out there, it was raining. That's more fun than the garage. It's not raining in the garage. It's not raining outside anymore either. But we got about an inch of rain, so that's good. It is still raining a little bit. There. How's that? Is that better or worse? Worse, you say? Well, deal with it. Deal with it, you guys. So it is raining an occasional drop. Just a drop here, a drop there. I'm getting a little more droppage. Getting more droppage in my crop top. Well, it looks like you guys may have done your good work. I'm proud of you. I do feel a poo coming on. Ew! God damn it. Look at this. It's a dead mouse. Yeah, it's still dark here because it's the West Coast. I have to clean up this girl's dead mouse. God damn it. I wonder if that's the mouse I saved last night. I got caught again. Alright, let me get a dustpan. Cat's doing the job, alright. Okay, I'm just gonna throw its carcass into the bushes. Well, that is definitely dead. You can see by the two pieces of mouse. Well, it appears that my water has broken. The live stream laxative effect is in full effect. So off we go to the bathroom. I want to commend you for your excellent work this morning. Oh, that was a very good poop. Wow. That's a real colon clearing poop there. If Colin Powell were here, he'd be long gone. What a horrible name to name your kid. Colon. I mean, I guess it's better than chode. I can't believe it for such a long time I thought the grundle was called the chode. Oh, Mr. Kitty. Hello. The world's a better place after you poo. There's just no denying that. The post-poop world and the pre-poop world are very different places. A post-poop world is a world of lightness and joy. Whereas a pre-poop world is a world of discomfort and despair. And that, friends, is the difference between a pre and post-poop world. Apparently, Americans are using a lot of laxatives. So much so that there's a laxative shortage. It's true. I'm not currently suffering from a laxative shortage because I have you, my natural laxative. Okay, we're here on Steam. Okay, create a free account. Put my email address in. All right, here's the CAPTCHA. Let's see if we can do it. Good morning, Winston's mom. Today, we're going to try to work together to do a CAPTCHA. This one asks us to pick all the ones that have a bus in it. All right. This has a bus. 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 Do you see any other buses? Does anybody see a bus? I don't see any buses. Your response to the CAPTCHA appears to be invalid. Please re-verify that you're not a robot. Select all the squares with traffic lights. Meow, 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 meow. And this one too, I think so. It's got a little bit of a traffic light in it. Select all the squares with motorcycles. Okay. This has a motorcycle. Is that a motorcycle? Is that a motorcycle? Is that a motorcycle? But not the top of the guy, I guess. Next. It's like every bit of his tire count. What about this part? Is there any motorcycle in it? Is this part of the motorcycle? Should I include the guy? Now? Do I hit next now? Bicycle. Stairs. Verification challenge expired. Check the checkbox again. Steam, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. Fire hydrants. Does that have a fire hydrant? Please try again. Please try again. Please try again. Why can I get past this? My response to the captcha appears to be invalid. I'm going to try this one. What are automated meow meows? Well, as you can see, I once again cannot install Steam. You did come during Baldur's Gate time. I once again am attempting to install Steam and failing to be able to. So, I am a robot, I guess. I could try again. I'm not a robot. Try again later. I'll have to try to log in again. Help, I can't sign in. Even to have them reset my password, I have to solve a CAPTCHA. Bus. 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 I don't see any other buses. Please try again. That might be a fire hydrant. Please try again. Bicycles. That's a bicycle hidden back there. Bicycle. Verify. Search. My CAPTCHA response appears to be invalid. What the fuck? You see what I'm saying? You see what my problem is? Everything's got a motorcycle in it. Is this part of the motorcycle? This little thing right here? I can't tell. Is this pole part of the traffic light? Yes. Motorcycles. Is there a little bit of it there too? I can't tell. Bicycles. Please try again. Crosswalks. Crosswalk. Crosswalk. Please try again. Fire hydrant. Fire hydrant. Fire hydrant. Fire hydrant. It's not working. Help, I can't sign in. There's nothing about I can't solve the CAPTCHA. Maybe I should get the Steam mobile app. Well, obviously I can't do that while I'm live streaming. I don't know. I guess I'm just a robot. After all these years, I finally have to accept that I'm a robot. It had a little piece of motorcycle in it. 5:30 in the morning, police at my door. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now. Guess I'll go back outside, smoke another cigarette, and then make my decision. I'd like to do something today more interesting than just sit around the house all day. I'm thinking, okay, KE, well, I also had somebody else tell me you pick something no matter how small a piece of a thing it has in it. So I was following that advice to the best of my ability. I think I'm just going to have to get the mobile app, then stream the QR, scan the QR code. I was actually thinking about being a little wild and taking my little wilderness car up into the mountains for an early morning drive. See if I can get up high enough to where the rain last night becomes snow. There's probably snow up another 1,000 foot or two, I can get, the last time Rachel and I went up that main road up into the mountains, we gained 1,000 feet of elevation from our house, probably like 1,500 from yeah, I'm sure if I get the app, I can do it. Everything's all about mobile phones these days, I tell you. Back in my day, we used landlines. And our computers were as big as a house. Hell no. That's some boring ass shit. Namaste, excuse my language. Yes, Jeremiah Fix, yoga's boring. You want to see some yoga? I'll show you some yoga right now. Okay, I'm going to do some yoga for you right now, and you're going to see how boring it is. This yoga is called Happy Baby. Oh, yeah. I am one happy baby. Except I'm not that happy. I don't find this to be the most comfortable position in the world. So, I call this yoga position waiting crane. Okay? Waiting crane. Try that one if you want to really bring your sutras together. If you want to suture your sutras, try this one too. This is called Olympic Sprinter. Looking backwards. I call this pose about to dive. Namaste. Namaste, and you are welcome. Well, it's raining again. That's nice. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. I am into that sort of thing. What's my I'm in love with Rachel and we're having a Christmas party pose? The thing is, Winston, those are two different poses. You can't just mush yoga poses together like they were ingredients in a stew. Yoga is a precious, ancient spiritual art. Okay? Obviously, it's not frivolous like that. Now, here's the yoga pose where we're having a Christmas party. It's basically Kirsten Dunst frozen. And here's the pose for I Love Rachel. It's like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the yoga pose for I Love Rachel. Namaste. Welcome to Morning Yoga with Eric, Yoga at Yosemite, with your yoga guru, Eric, here to teach you all about yoga. Listen, our bodies and our spirits are the same, okay? When we are one with our body, we are one with the world and the universe. Everything is a circle, okay? And that's why For our first yoga pose today, we're going to do what's known as the Yakachuta Sutra, which translated means the circle of life, like that Elton John song, okay? And hold it, and hold it, and namaste. Wow, we're waking up now. We're opening our chakras, we're suturing our sutras. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and just hold it. Now, I want you to take your leg and hold it like this. No, don't fall over. Just stand there and hold it. You can do it. It's all about being one with your body. This pose is known as, ow, I stubbed my toe. Ow, I stubbed my toe. If you say it, it really sutures your sutras even better. Some cultures call this pose, I'm not drunk, officer. I can do this. Can I hop on one foot like this? Okay, well, maybe not. But if I weren't holding my leg, I probably could. Hop on one foot. Let's see. See, I'm not drunk. I'm not even tipsy. I'm doing yoga. Eric smoking yoga. All right, first off, can I have everybody please light a cigarette? Namaste. I call this pose trying to touch your toes. Oh, I need to stretch. Like Stretch Armstrong at a stretching convention. I believe in miracles. You sexy. We're getting a decent number of raindrops falling. They've been falling all night, so we've gotten almost an inch of rain to each day slash last night. And that's pretty good. I'm hopeful maybe after this storm is done, our little stream will begin trickling again. It's a seasonal stream. It dries up in the late summer, middle summer, depending on how wet the winter is, I guess. Or early summer if we have a very dry winter. But it doesn't come alive again until after we've had a few storms. I suspect it will come alive again a little bit after this storm, but another 1 or 2 storms hit and we're golden. Oh, I know that here, Lamb. I got pulled over for drunk driving one time while I was very drunk. And of course, when he asked me if I'd been drinking, the answer definitively was no. Nope, not anything. And somehow, despite the fact that I was very drunk, I passed the field test and they let me go. Didn't even get a ticket for speeding. There's 84 poses and 84 ragas. I just showed you a few of them this morning. Okay. There's this one, which is called facepalm. To help you come to terms with your own facepalminess. It's really an exercise in smelling your hand. First, you got to put on a very specific frequency that has magical powers. Then you've got to cover yourself in assorted crystals. You got to apply aromatherapy. You got to do a chakra opening high colonic. Then you got to do all 84 ragas, all 84 poses, and then, and only then, will you be able to levitate. The stone of guilt in the river of the mind, the block in the flow of intelligence. Is guilt really a block in the flow of intelligence, or is it instead a way of holding oneself accountable? Jung thought of the archetypes as riverbeds. I think of them as like a gateway drug to wrongness. But, it's also potentially a gateway drug to correctness. I think a lot of people come to typology via archetypal stuff, even though it's just an eye. And therefore only so informative inherently. If things are irreducible, they're only so informative. If you learn and practice the yoga pose of tree, it will greatly improve your balance. All right, I will learn and practice it right now. Here it is. The yoga pose known as the tree, as performed by Yoga Master Eric. Namaste. One eye open. Now 2 eyes are open. And oh my God, my 3rd eye is open. I can't show you that one though because it's on the head of my penis. Am I saying astrology is bogus? Yes, okay. Obviously, astrology is nonsense. No offense to our beloved astrologers in attendance, but, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's just so wrong. Yoga is the space where flowers blossom. Flowers blossom in the planter on the deck. So I can assure you that that is a wrong statement. You asked the question, K.E. I just answered it. Which one of us truly is the rude one? I think it's you. You've always been known by your Viking name, K the Rude. Back when she was actively doing Viking stuff, Kay used to pillage villages purely with rudeness. That's how rude she was. She's mellowed a little bit since those years. In fact, K.E. You need to not verify something to have faith in it. It's not just that you don't need to verify it, it's more significant than that. It's that you need to not verify it. Unless you're dealing with an actual sword, in which case it's mightier than your words. My virility is not only biological or existential, it is both sacred and sensual, so I am purposefully a lover of all of life. That just sounds like man slut bullshit to me. What's the power of tape over the mouth? Well, you get stickiness on your face. So should go and tell towns folk their outfit is ugly, etc. The fuckery never ends. Jessamine Stanley. Everybody yoga. Like go up here, get on the mat, love your body. Well, it's true the fuckery never ends. I don't doubt that, physical exercise is a good form of meditation for plenty of people. Yoga, I suppose, is a form of physical exercise. I think I'd probably be better off going jogging. But, you know, I'm not going to do 50 push ups. I can't do 50 push ups here at Lamb. We tried to see how many push ups I could do the other day, and I did 13, I believe, maybe 12. Do you want me to see if I can beat my record of 12 or 13? I could try to beat my record. Let's find out. Can Eric beat his record of, he doesn't remember if it was 12 or 13 push-ups last time? Keeping in mind that Eric is not going to do what other people might call good push-ups, okay? They're Eric push-ups. These are the best push-ups Eric can do. So, don't judge. I guess I should probably have something behind my feet. That'll make it easier. There we go. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm only doing 8 push-ups today, but I did better push-ups today than I did last time. That's enough push-ups for me. Phew. What do I look like? A guy who frequently needs to lift his body off of the ground by pushing himself up? No. I wonder how many squats I could do. Let's see how many squats I could do. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I fell over after 8. So let's just call it 8. Whew. Well, that was tiring. I feel like I got a real morning workout. I could probably do a lot of jumping jacks if I tried. I've never been good at skipping rope, but I could probably jump the rope a decent number of times. I can do arm lifts for a little while. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty good at arm lifts. I can do quite a few of those if I wanted to. Also, I do a lot of this exercise. Lean back, lean forward. Lean back, lean forward. Mostly I lean forward. I don't have anything to pull up on. So I can't do any pull-ups. I don't play much hopscotch anymore, unfortunately, Mr. Mom. I should probably reignite my passion for it. I also don't play a lot of shuffleboard. And I feel like I'm missing out, obviously. I definitely should get more exercise. Obviously. Based on how I got winded right now. Yeah, it is good for mental health to exercise, for sure. It's something I neglect, and I shouldn't neglect it as much as I do. I could do pull-ups against that wall, but then I scrape myself on the wall. Yeah, I think about going jogging sometimes, stuff like that. But I don't tend to end up doing it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll start. The thing is, if in fact I get lucky today, if I get super lucky and my script comes through, well, then I'll probably start doing a lot of chores. When I'm doing work, I'm getting good amount of exercise. I just need to do more work around here, you know? There's plenty of stuff to do. I'm a lazy poo, and your name is Sue. What are you going to do? It's my poem. Just like my poem I came up with last night, which I think is especially brilliant. Hey, Walt Whitman, leaves of grass totally, totally sucks my ass. I think that's an excellent poem. Well, I just don't really want to do that. We can clean it ourselves. We've got limited amount of funds to spend on the thing. I think the best expenditure, additional expenditure, would be to call the Christmas decoration lady back and say, okay, we do want you to do the mantles. After all, it costs us another couple $100, a few $100 maybe. I think that would be a better use of that money. Or barring that, hire a handyman to help me with the handyman stuff like painting, chipping that wall, vacuuming all the paint chips up, stuff like that. So it's just a matter of where I want to put our dollars. I think we can clean The toilet's just fine. We have 3 toilets, not that hard to clean. I can clean the floors, I can vacuum. What would help me get all of this stuff accomplished? I'm feeling like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to start handling shit. I'm feeling lively. I've really slept my ass off and I don't have any more sleep in me at the moment. But what would really kick me into gear, of course, would be and will be the arrival. But see, the other problem with the wall instance, Mom, is it's almost done. I've almost got all the stuff off, but just the only stuff that's left is like the hardest stuff to get off. It's very, it's, it's been hanging over me since we bought this house. I have been wanting that goddamn wall to stop having that horrible gray stuff on it. I get it. It's like you can get caught up tweaking out for hours on a little wall and you walk away and you're like, did I even accomplish anything? Oh. So I've been thinking about my development notions and I think I'm gonna nix this lot down here because the water company wants it to put in another well to make sure everybody around here has plenty of water. I don't want to get in the way of that. So I'm going to not buy that lot and hope the water company successfully buys it. But I am going to keep my eye out for plots of land around here. Yeah, it's right there. It's like right around the driveway. It's the retaining wall. It looks ugly. I want to get it fixed because I want the house to look nice. After I get all the gray stuff off of it, I want to kind of smooth it out as best I can, maybe with a belt sander or something. And then potentially paint it. Yes, you can paint concrete. You just have to put multiple coats on. I don't know. Things get weird here in Atlanta when you own a home. All of a sudden, you care about shit that you thought you'd never care about before. Like I never dreamed that I'd care about weather stripping. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, let's try to turn the lights off to keep the electricity bill down. Like, I never did shit like that before. I just paid whatever the electricity bill was. But then I never was trying to have to air condition a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house. I always had a little tiny place. Also, I never spent so much time at home before. For I guess I basically started being unemployed around the time I was with Kimberly. Being with her kind of destroyed my debate business. Well, our bill during the winter is low. It's like $120 a month. But our bill for July, which was a time when we had Corey here for a substantial amount of the month, and he runs very hot, and he was upstairs, and we had the air conditioning running 24/7. And unfortunately, at the time, we didn't realize that if you leave the pilot lights on these little propane fireplace things, they emanate a fair amount of warmth. So we were having our propane room heaters competing with the air conditioning in the home months too. I just read a quote sent to me. Life is like a box of crayons. And I just thought, no, no, it isn't. Well, life has some similarities to a box of crayons in the sense that, like a box of crayons, life includes crayoning, I guess. Most people have used crayons, so it's part of their life. Yeah, so our worst electricity bill is $500 this year, and I was just like, "Whoa, you have got to be shitting me! We have got to do something about this right now." So it wasn't until after that bill that I went around closing the vents in the rooms we don't use, for example, so that when the air conditioning goes into someplace, it goes into someplace useful. Right? The same thing currently with the heat. No point in wasting propane heating rooms that are closed with nobody in them. If we close those vents, then it comes out extra strong from these other vents. Well, I don't want that one, since Mom. I want to just generally do a better job of conserving energy. It's not that hard to do. Turn off lights, stuff like that. Yeah, well, shading is what turns your childhood crayon picture into a real work of art. It requires shading. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Winston. Well, we did that after we got hit with that $500 bill. As usual, it takes Eric to have a bad experience before he does anything smart. Now we're not bothering to heat or air condition rooms that we're not using. But that's new wise Eric. You should have said that to old stupid Eric before he had to pay $500 on his electricity bill one month. In retrospect, it seems very dumb, but I just was like, well, you're just the other electricity as your need to. So, I'm a little bit restless. I was going to say bored, but it's not exactly the right term. I'm a little restless. I feel like I need to do something. Either do something, go out, do something interesting, like like I mentioned, drive up into the mountains, even though it's raining right now. Let me look at the forecast for today. It is supposed to rain all a heavy rain all day. So I guess it's not a good time to take the little wilderness car out. We are, well, it still says we're at 0.7, but it said that hours ago and it's rained more. So I would expect us to get well over an inch, maybe an inch and a half even, which is a good amount of rain. That's the kind of rain I can say, hey, look, it's raining. I want to see the cloud map. That's my favorite map. It's my favorite weather map. It's like we're not even getting, this isn't even a storm. It's just a little bit of, yeah. There's a big storm out in the Pacific between Alaska and Hawaii. But I don't think it's going to get all, some of it might hit us. And there's another big storm behind it. Forecast. I wish this map would forecast further into the future. I want it to forecast like days into the future. Oh, but that big one back there hasn't gotten to Hawaii yet. Oh, it is forecasting far into the future. Oh, it's doing a pretty good job. It forecasted all the way through Sunday this time at least. That's a little bit better than before. We're looking to get essentially, say, I don't know, Tuesday. We're looking to get hit. I think we're going to get a series of big storms coming through here. That's what it looks like. I'm pretty excited about that. Let me look at the monthly forecast. So it's not forecasting ahead very well, but it never does. It always forecasts based on the average for any given day, which is always no rain. Because any given day, obviously, it's more likely to not rain than it is. This is the end, my only friends, the end. This is going to be the end of the live stream. I probably will live stream again later. At some point, I'm going to do some chores today, I think, even if I don't get the amphetamines. Although if I don't get the amphetamines, I may feel pouty and I may just watch football and, as they say in the youth culture, chillax. Yeah, I do mean this is the end of the live stream. So I want to thank you all for being here and know that I love you all very much and that I will see you later.